Hey guys, Final Death Star here, and today we're talking Galaxy's Edge, which is the Star Wars themed land that's opening up in DisneyLand in 2019, the summertime, and Disney World 2019 in the fall. So this is a little bit of bright and happy news coming out of the Star Wars universe amid all of the confusion with Lucasfilm canceling and then uncanceling the standalone movies within the last couple days. You know, we don't know what to believe, what to think, what's coming next. At least we have this to look forward to. So this is a StarWars.com article, and it is the 5 things we learned about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Galactic Nights. So Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida just hosted their 3rd event of the Star Wars Galactic Nights, and they had a panel there talking about the new theme park. And the panel included some of the creative executors, content creators, and the managing story editor. And there will be like a storyline that runs through the park that I believe it lines up with the sequel trilogy, because I think it's a Resistance versus First Order time period that we're going to be entering into in this park. And 5 of the new developments that they had talked about and revealed are pretty exciting. So the number 1 here is Hello AT-ATs. And it says Tobridge, who is Scott Tobridge, a portfolio creative executive, revealed that the Millennium Falcon is not the only huge Star Wars vehicle being built for Galaxy's Edge. The team is building 2 towering AT-AT walkers, making our Imperial dreams come true. The walkers will be part of the 2nd attraction in Galaxy's Edge, the first being the Millennium Falcon, with guests facing off against the AT-ATs. They don't say how that's going to happen. I don't know if we're going to be in if we're going to be in some sort of speeders, or if we're going to it doesn't say how it's going to happen, but that's just the sound of that is exciting. Tobridge showed photos of the armored behemoths being built in Japan, eliciting roars from the crowd. The feet alone were massive, but the detail put into them, as well as the rest of the transport, promises to be most impressive. And then number 2 here says, Hello Resistance Transport 2. To help create that real-world feel for the vehicles in the universe, some Imaginers traveled to the sets of recent Star Wars films at Pinewood Studios. The plan is to replicate authenticity from the big screen and bring it to life on Batuu. Batuu is the planet that the theme park is going to take place on. As evidence of this, we were treated to some images of the all-new vehicle, the Resistance Transport. Unfortunately, those images were not linked to this article, so I don't know what they look like, which is unfortunate, because I would really like to take a little glance at that. But, I'm sure they'll be released sooner or later. The transport will feature prominently as you take on the First Order firsthand. Okay, so it is the First Order, as Georges explains. This is an actual physical full-sized ship that you'll actually step on board and set off on an adventure of your own. It even features battle damage, indicating things have been challenging up to this point for the Resistance crew. Again, the attention to detail is staggering, and I would love to see the staggering attention to detail, but it's not linked in this article. Number 3, Lothcats are coming to our galaxy. Production designer Doug Chiang is working with artists to create physical representations of some of Star Wars creatures, many of which have only been present in animated forms up to this point. In fact, a creature pen is being built to allow for the illusion of a lifelike encounter with the Star Wars wildlife. That's pretty exciting and fascinating to think about, that they're going to have some sort of pen, like a animal creature pen for Star Wars wildlife that doesn't exist. It's going to have the illusion that they're real or there. I don't know how they're going to do this, but it sounds really amazing. Perhaps the most exciting of all, however, is that the team is creating lifelike Lothcats, a fan favorite from Star Wars Rebels, which guests will get to interact with. How are they going to do this? The image shown, and they do show an image, it's just from Rebels. It's Ezra with one of the Lothcats. So, you can see what they look like if you've never seen Star Wars Rebels. The image shown of the in-the-works creature elicited a cacophony of awes throughout the epic theater at Disney's Hollywood Studios. It's a fair assumption that we will all want to take these adorable little critters home after meeting them on Batuu, and I'm sure Disney will allow you to take those home in stuffed animal form for the low, low price of like $49.99. But, hey, they got to make a buck, right? And then there's a few pictures here of Batuu and what the planet, artist renditions of what the planet looks like. It says, this is number 4, set your coordinates for Black Spire Outpost. Finally, we learn that the town of Batuu that Disney Parks guests will be exploring is called Black Spire Outpost. The name may be familiar to Star Wars fans who first heard L337, that famous loving droid that everyone was just crazy about in Solo. Tells Lando Calrissian in the movie that he could not find Black Spire, Lando Calrissian tells L337 that he could not find Black Spire without her. So I guess that's going to be a tie-in to this park within the movies itself. The panel showed exciting images of the Black Spire Outpost, and you can find out more about it right here. And then there's a little link you can click, which I'll put all in the description, which tells you a little more about the planet of Batuu and the Black Spire Outpost. Number 5, welcome back Nien Nunb and Hondo Ohnaka, this is maybe the most exciting. Well, I don't know, the AT-AT walkers are probably the most exciting, but the fact that Nien and Hondo are going to somehow be involved with this park, fantastic. While there are many new Star Wars encounters in Galaxy's Edge, there will also be some familiar faces. Nien Nunb, the co-pilot that helped destroy the second Death Star with Lando and returned to take on the First Order, is back. Actor Kipsang Rotich, I don't know if I pronounced that right, will once again voice Nien for Galaxy's Edge, adding some true connectivity to the Star Wars films. Disney went all the way to Kenya to find the actor, who was a graduate student at the time of Return of the Jedi, and then they showed a video where he shared his excitement about returning to this character. Also returning is Hondo Ohnaka, the Weequay pirate from Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels and Forces of Destiny. Forces of Destiny. The last set of Galaxy's Edge trading cards, which guests received once they left the park for the evening, included an image of Hondo and Chewbacca at the entry ramp of the Millennium Falcon. At this point, it's hard to say what brought these two together, but it certainly seems like a recipe for plenty of unexpected and exciting moments. In just over a year, we will be immersed in the largest land ever created for the Disney parks, coming to Disneyland Resort in 2019 in the summer, and Walt Disney World Resort in fall of 2019. So get ready, it says here. So this is exciting news. Hondo is somehow going to be involved with this park or living in Batuu at this time, or visiting Batuu, which really does open up some possibilities here, because Hondo is a really popular character. If you've watched Clone Wars, and if you haven't, I highly recommend you do watch Clone Wars, and Rebels. He appears in both. He's really loved by fans, and it's great to see him here. Now, if this storyline takes place either around Last Jedi or after Last Jedi, I don't know exactly where in the sequel trilogy the storyline of the theme park is supposed to take place, but no matter when, it also, I guess, just canonized the fact that Hondo has lived, throughout the original trilogy and onto the sequel trilogy. So this opens up more possibilities for Dave Filoni to bring him back in his new show, Star Wars Resistance, which is the new animated show. It also means that Jon Favreau could bring him into the live-action series that he's creating, which takes place, I believe, 4 years after Return of the Jedi. If I'm right about that, I think that's 4 years after Return of the Jedi. So this is some, exciting news. Just the fact that they're announcing that Hondo is going to be a part of this park, shows that he's alive and he could be used in further. Technically, I guess they could bring him into Episode 9 as well. Unless this storyline is supposed to take place after Episode 9. I'm not. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. But they can at least use him for the more of the TV stuff that's going to be released. That happens between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy. Those 30 years that we haven't explored yet, or that I guess we will be starting to explore with Star Wars Resistance, and whatever the Favreau series will be called. So that's some exciting news. This is a little bright point. If there's a bright spot in the universe, this news is the closest to right now, as far as all the crazy chaoticness coming out of Lucasfilm. So what do you guys think? Are you guys excited about the theme park? Are you planning your trip now? Are you getting your plane tickets and flying to Florida or California if you don't happen to be so lucky as to live in one of these states? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about Hondo being alive and the possibility of him popping up in one of the TV shows, or possibly one of the movies, episode 9, or one of the I guess one of the on-again standalone movies at some point. It would be great to put him into the Obi-Wan movie. That would be a nice little cameo to have Hondo in that, because Hondo and Obi-Wan have a pretty good relationship through the Clone Wars, and that could be a storyline, throwing Hondo in the Obi-Wan movie. There you go, Disney. That one's a freebie. All right, guys. Well, if you like the video, give it the old thumbs up and subscribe to see more content. And until next time, lock the doors and hope they don't have blasters.